Let's talk about my first thoughts when it comes to VR for your flight simulator. So, I played around with the MetaQuest 2, and that's what I had. That's what I had sitting on the shelf over here. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think it's time to indulge. Let's jump into this and see how it works. And overall, I had a little bit of time to think about it. Look at comments from my previous video. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link up here to that video where that was my first opportunity to use VR. Not my first time putting on VR goggles, flight simulation, but the first time I've tried setting it up with this setup back here. And my thoughts were, I would say, with the MetaQuest 2, which is a $200 VR headset that's slightly outdated, it just wasn't that great of an experience. I could not see anything in the cockpit. Like, I could get, I had to go put my eyeballs all squinted up, and maybe I could see which direction I was headed in. I could not read the heading indicator. It was horrible. And I could not see anything that was on my physical board over here. I tried using the little trigger thing to control things in the cockpit, and I just did not like it. It just was a pain in the neck. I mean, I could look around and kind of get an idea, but I thought that was the coolest part of it. It's just being able to look around and see things and see the world around you. But overall, I think that it really needed, I'm not saying bad things about VR. I think that it just needs an upgrade. And I'm hoping that maybe mixed reality with better resolution and potentially dropping in the inserts for your eyeglass prescription, not subscription, but prescription, will help that out. And you can do that with the MetaQuest 3 and the MetaQuest Pro. So I looked into those, did a little bit of research, trying to figure out what is the differences, what can you do with these, right? So you can do mixed reality with MetaQuest 3, and you can do mixed reality with MetaQuest Pro, and you're going to get more. You're going to get a higher resolution out of each eye cup. Now, the next question is, which one's better, the MetaQuest 3 or the MetaQuest Pro? You would think that $999 would, normally you get what you pay for. Normally that's going to be slightly better than what you would get with something half the cost at $499. But according to the research and just looking at the specs, it actually seemed like maybe you're getting a better deal with the $500 MetaQuest 3, which I thought was a little bit odd. The display resolution is higher. You can get a higher base storage off of it. The only thing it was higher was the DRAM. You're getting that higher resolution with the MetaQuest 3, and you still get the mixed reality. You can still make it work. There's some hoops that you have to jump through if you're using X-Plane, guys. I looked into that as well, and there's definitely just a few more things you have to jump through. As far as the pass-through fidelity, it's like almost four times as good. This is 18 ppd and 8, so you're getting just over twice the resolution there. And battery might last a little bit longer, MetaQuest Pro, but outside of that, you're not getting too much more out of it. So your MetaQuest 3, just with the resolution and the mixed reality bag out of that one, might be the best. Prescription inserts, you can get that for the MetaQuest 3 and the MetaQuest Pro. So if you could do that with either one, you might as well just do it for the 3 at half the cost and get the better resolution on that. I'll leave a link to this page, basically a thread on the X-Plane forums that talks about whether or not the Apple Vision Pro's AVP works with X-Plane, and the consensus was that it might work with with iOS app, but it does not necessarily work with X-Plane. I mean, it will work if you want to. It's basically the AVP, the Apple Vision Pros are basically giving you a desktop, okay, inside of your goggles, mixed reality headset there. And what it's allowing you to do is look around, but it's not true virtual reality. So you're kind of looking around at your monitor, which is squeezed into your face. So it probably looks really cool. I haven't had a chance to play around with it, but thanks to some of the members here, looks like they spent some time down at the Apple Store figuring that out. And it sounds like maybe if you have an Apple device or an Apple iOS device and your AVP will connect to it, you may have an opportunity that it will work in some manner, shape, form, or another, but it sounds like it's not a perfect science just yet. Now, it is possible, if you guys want to do the mixed reality, using a few different service providers, it is possible to set up a mixed reality bag, but it will require a couple different software packages to be able to make it happen, to make it actually work, where it actually has like a fixed look at where it uses the pass-through to see your physical panel, so you can actually see your hand as it's looking at the panel. Like, this is a physical panel being used here, and it will pass through. You're actually going to be able to see everything that you're looking at. I'll also leave a link for Russ Barlow's video here on YouTube, who's done an extreme amount of testing on this. Definitely go check his stuff out there. But he has a video on Quest 3 mixed reality. Definitely come over here and check this out. You can see Russ here is using kind of a similar system, using those different software packages where they actually pass through. You can see him passing through the system here. So it's going to require a little bit of all the different systems, a program called Virtual Desktop, Steam VR, Reality Mixer. Definitely look this up, see if it's something you want to look further into. Definitely go down this road and play around with it with your flight sim, especially if you have a MetaQuest 3 or something hanging around the house. So yeah, let me know your feedback. Let me know if you've done this and been able to make it work with a MetaQuest 3. I would love to know. I would love to know if it's worth maybe throwing a little bit of cash at and giving this a shot. Setting up these 3 programs is probably not the simplest setup, but I think that there is some promise there if you could take the extra time to set it up. Let me know what your experience looks like, though. I'd love to know. And let me know. My experience was like kind of less than stellar with the MetaQuest 2, but overall I think there's promise. Ultimately, I think probably just having the physical panels with a wraparound screen probably is the way to go. Being able to look left and right and have that fully immersive, feeling, have that experience that you're looking for. But I think maybe doing it without the VR is probably the way to go, although it might be a little more expensive. So, but let me know your thoughts. Definitely love to hear it. Leave it down in the comments. I'll catch up with you guys in another video. Take care. Hey, if you haven't already done so, head over to EliteSimBuild.com, grab a copy of our Home Flight Simulator Resource Guide. Do that thing where you click the button, give us your email address, and we will send you a copy of our simulator guides where you can get the resource list, the avionics reviews, a panel blueprint, so that way you guys can send that off to your panel guy, get all the parts and pieces that you need. You'll know exactly what software to pick up so you can get your Cessna 172 flight simulator built today.